Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, Omega Radio listeners. The time is now 3:30 p.m. And of course, at this time every Saturday, each and every Saturday, we have a very proud sponsor coming to you to minister to you. It is now time for Marriage in a Minute right here today on Omega Radio with your hosts, CARIM and Michelle HYATT. We do hope that you will be blessed and that you will enjoy today's segment of Marriage in a Minute. So let's go ahead now and connect with our hosts for today, CARIM and Michelle HYATT, for today's segment of Marriage in a Minute. So go ahead and stay tuned in, stay locked in, don't go anywhere, don't touch that dial. Coming to you now are the Hyatts with Marriage in a Minute. Over to you.
Hey y'all.
Hello.
Welcome back to Marriage in a Minute here on Omega Radio. We just what is he drinking? Anyway, you guys, welcome back. As you know, I'm always giving updates on weather is great. Get out, find something to do. There's always something to do. Doesn't matter where you live. We are here in South Florida. And we're outdoorsy people, so you can guess it's either we played basketball today or we went fishing. Or maybe something else. Whatever it is that you do it well. But welcome back to Omega Radio. It is Marriage in a Minute here Saturday at 3:30 in the afternoon. Just wanted to bring another word to you, something that is of concern to us that it's so crazy. Divorce is on the rise. I mean, it is a pandemic within itself. Families are being destroyed. Kids are suffering, and I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the secret is to staying married. We're going on 24 years is our next big day, but I don't know. Is it a secret or is it? I don't know.
Get the book Staying Married, Become One Flesh, and you'll see the answer to that question.
But anyway, so today, I was just reading an article about people getting divorced and some of the reasons why they're getting divorced. They don't even know why they're getting divorced. And now everything is lumped into irreconcilable differences. And I don't even know what. Not that I don't know what it means. We know what it means, but I think now I feel like it's such a clever trick to throw everything under that one umbrella about irreconcilable differences. And what it means to me is that people aren't willing to put in the work. And it's so crazy, and it doesn't matter. It's in the church as much as it's in the world. So it's not like I could honestly, and I wish I could honestly say, look at the church, but unfortunately we can't say that because the divorce rate is just as high in the church, if not higher. So I don't know. It's just so crazy.
It's sad, but that's not the word I'm looking for. It's surprising that the divorce rate in the church is no different from the world. It's surprising. It shouldn't be like that, but what does it called? Irreconcilable differences. What is that really?
It means while we were preparing, actually, I looked up the definition of irreconcilable differences, and you can tell that it's the world's version, but God gave us in 2 Corinthians 15, verse 18.
Yeah, it says in 2 Corinthians 15:18, it says all this.
5:18, sorry.
2 Corinthians 5:18.
Verse 18.
All this is from God, who through Christ reconciled us to himself and gave us the ministry of reconciliation. So he reconciled himself to us.
So that means there is nothing under the sun that cannot be reconciled if that's what people want.
Right. So the question is it that they don't want this in marriage? Whenever things are going wrong, whenever money is not going right, whenever an argument is happening over and over again, or is it that we don't want to? We just throw in the towel so easily when God is saying, He gives us the ministry of reconciliation, meaning that we can fix the issues, we can reconcile, we can get things going back together again. But I think a part of the problem is, you plant your things in the garden,
Yeah.
and
My
Michelle,
things, my things
or a
in the
food
garden.
kind, or food kind, and she did a really great job. I wish I could show you the
My
garden, but
things in the garden is what he's calling
she,
them.
she's
Okay.
not gonna get off that part.
I can't. These are my babies. I have
Okay, all
fruits,
right,
I
all
have
right. Let me,
vegetable, and he's calling them my things, but
or it's for
whatever.
us, so I
Yeah,
shouldn't say
really.
my things,
Yeah, I
but
don't even want to see you out there
or
eating any of my fruits, whatever. So,
we're gonna reconcile this, by the
yeah, man.
way. But yeah, our garden has some nice plants that she planted, and she I can't. But
Uh,
I remember when
we're
Michelle
laughing,
planted.
y'all, and this is a serious, but
It is, yeah.
we're laughing. We're
Yeah,
not laughing at the thing, but we
yeah.
just want you guys to realize how serious we are. Couples, I remember a friend of
Let's
mine.
talk about the garden.
Okay, the garden, sorry. Our garden. Go ahead.
Our garden is flourishing now, but it's because Michelle goes there every day and waters it. She waters it. I water it with her. I'm there in spirit. I stand there sometimes and I
Yeah,
talk. I keep her
almost
company,
like a
but
ghost. Yeah.
yeah. So if we don't water your garden, your marriage garden, if you don't do the work, it's gonna die. So that's what a lot of marriages are happening nowadays. They're not reconciling. They're not doing the work it takes to get things
Gotta
going
put
back
in the
again.
work.
It
Yeah,
takes work, and you
yeah,
don't want to do the work, and next thing you know, there's divorce, and
yeah,
that's the problem.
yeah.
So,
But you know what? I was just about to say, talking to a friend of mine, and she said she got a divorce, and the question was like, well, oh my gosh, really? What happened? Why? And she was just standing there like, I don't even know. But at the end of the day, irreconcilable differences.
mhm,
And it just really dawned on me. I'm like, man, what does that for you guys out there? What does it mean that your marriage is going through something so bad that it cannot sustain you guys in the marriage anymore, that it needs to be dissolved? What is irreconcilable, and how much? Sometimes I wonder how much people, lawyers, whatever, are throwing, lumping factors together and say it's irreconcilable differences. And
mhm,
I don't know. I understand the scientific meaning. I know what it says, but is it true? Like, are there certain things that just are irreconcilable outside of abuse
mhm,
and adultery and I, those aren't the things, because I think divorce papers, decrees would say it,
mhm.
but that's not what it's saying. It's saying irreconcilable differences.
People are throwing
So
in the towel nowadays for some things that they end up having to throw in the towel again when they meet somebody else. Put it that way.
yeah,
Because if you divorce your spouse, you stay single, you're gonna have problems. If you get married again, you're gonna have problems again. So what are you gonna do? Just keep turning, keep hopping, keep hopping.
yeah,
So what we're in essence, what we're really saying is reconcile. We're
yeah.
encouraging married couples that God created marriage to be for life. He hates divorce, and the Bible verse says all this from God, who through Christ reconciled us to himself and gave us the ministry of reconciliation. So we are able to reconcile. We're able to, you know, get the marriage back on track, because every marriage is going to go through trials and hard times, and you're going to have some differences, and but you need to reconcile, because
It's a
that's a part
ministry,
of
right,
the
that
yeah,
God gave us, and
yeah,
whatever God gives us, it's doable.
yeah,
But I think people, it's just so, and I hate to say it, but it's true. It's just so Hollywood,
yeah.
you
That's the
know,
world's
and
version of
yeah,
marriage,
it's
like a trial and error.
yeah.
And that's
If
why
we
they
tried and it don't work
yeah,
out, then we could just go our separate ways.
yeah.
But there are kids involved, there are people involved. And when you can't say to your kid, oh, well, why aren't you guys getting a divorce? Or why isn't mommy here or daddy here? Oh, irreconcilable difference. We just can't
Yeah.
get along. So if you can't get along, then what happens to other relationship that seems to be breaking down? Do we just give it up?
Yeah.
I don't understand why is it so. And I'm not saying it's easy. Believe me, I am not downplaying anyone's issues at all. I think it's important to understand that that's not what we're saying. We're just saying that we've seen it so many times over and over and over that this new term, irreconcilable differences, have taken over marriages, ending up into dissolving the marriage, divorcing. And then when you see people and like, well, what happened?
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't even know why we got a divorce. I don't even know when it ended up being where it is.
Yeah.
So I think when there is, that's the point where attorneys, and you're choosing counsel from attorneys. Attorneys don't give you direction. Well, divorce attorneys, you can't get reconcilable matters to an attorney because their job is to divorce you.
Hmm.
So we're saying get counsel from the right place, because if you go to an attorney for consultation, he'll get you divorced. That's his job.
The difference is that we operate, and we're talking to people who are children of God who are married, because the world operates differently. So if you're a child of God and you're married, you're not supposed to, based on what God is telling us, to deal with marriage the same way the world deals with marriage. Prenuptial agreements they sign, already they're thinking
Way out.
a way out if it
Yeah.
doesn't work out. God wants you and I to, when we get married, to have a mindset that this is my family now. This is
Mhm.
my flesh. This is my, just like you have your brother and your sister. This is my relative. Michelle is my relative. So you can't go into the marriage. And I don't think anybody really, really goes into a marriage thinking divorce. But at the drop of a dime, you don't want to just start thinking divorce. The world thinks that way. So what we're encouraging is stay the course and reconcile your differences. A lot of times it's stuff that, can be fixed.
Yeah. Like disputable matters.
Disputable matters.
We'll always have disputable matters. We're two different people. While we're dating, we had disputable matters. While after we got married, there are going to be some matters that
Yeah.
it's, but is it enough for me to say I don't want this anymore? And again, we're not talking about big issues
Right.
like we said before, where there's
Abuse
physical
or,
abuse or mental abuse
you
or
know, those things are
adultery, or
right.
those things that are huge and impact the family in a different kind of way.
Right.
We're not saying that. We're talking about things where, oh, we just don't get along anymore, or
Right.
I don't
One of
get
the
it.
things I hear people say sometimes is, I'm not in love with you anymore. And I'm like, that's a term that makes no sense when you think about what love is. I'm not in love.
So can you define when you got in love,
And when you get
when
out
you
of
got
love,
out of love? Like define that area. What is
what
the
is love? Love is patient, it's kind. So when you say you're not in love, that means, and that's why when people say I fall in love, you don't fall in love. You love. You
Yeah.
show love. So that's what I think, that's the difference, where your perception of what love is. And also, I always tell people, think about these three questions. Why did you get married? Why did God create marriage? And line up your reason for getting married with why God created marriage.
Mhm.
And have you ever seen a marriage without problems? Those three questions. Think about those. Meditate on that, and evaluate your marriage. So God created marriage to last a lifetime and to please Him, and then to please each other while you're pleasing Him. So in doing that, you're gonna have to show love. You're gonna have to be kind. You're gonna have to be patient. You're gonna have to be, all these things that the Bible tells us that love is. Love is the is almost like the root of marriage. Put it that way. You can't have marriage without love. So when you say I'm not in love anymore,
Mhm.
that's just a deception of what the world calls marriage and love. It's not real love. You don't
Can
fall
we,
out of
sorry,
love.
can we continue this? Because we're just
Yeah.
at the end of our 15 minutes here on Omega
Yes.
Radio, but we want to continue this. I want this to be like an open discussion. So we're gonna talk about it a little bit more next week, I think, about
Yeah.
this thing that's taken over married couples that we're buying into and thinking it's this is why you're getting divorced. It's not.
It wrecks families. It
Yeah.
messes up the kids.
Irreconcilable. It
Yeah.
is reconcilable because God
Yeah.
says that it is.
Yeah.
But anyway,
All right, well, we're at the end of our program, Marriage in a Minute. Check our YouTube channel. We have a lot of videos there. You'll get, if you subscribe to our channel, Marriage in a Minute. And also check our website, www.marriagevantagepoint.com. All right,
all right,
guys.
guys, have a
Thank you for
great
listening
day.
in today.
Bye. Hey, y'all.
Thank you, thank you, thank you both so much to the Hyatts for being a proud sponsor towards this radio ministry. We truly are blessed that they're able to come on and minister to you all each and every Saturday at the same time of 3:30 p.m. Of course, we do hope that you were blessed by today's program, that you enjoyed today's program, and that you will tune in next week Saturday once again at the same time of 3:30 p.m. right here on Omega Radio for Marriage in a Minute with your hosts CARIM and Michelle Hyatt. So thank you so much for tuning in today. May you continue to stay locked in and tuned into Omega Radio, as we do always have more lined up for you right here on this wonderful radio station. Stay locked in with us. And of course, thank you so much to the Hyatts once again for being proud sponsors towards this radio ministry.
Legend. Before me even sing nothing, me have to say salute, to a living legend.